List of monsters in Marvel Comics. This article lists the known monsters in Marvel Comics. History. In the earlier parts of Marvel Comics, issues such as Journey into Mystery, Strange Tales, Tales of Suspense, and Tales to Astonish would detail stories of its different monsters. They consist of giant aliens, kaiju, deviant mutates, and experiments that went horribly wrong. In later Marvel Comics stories, some of the monsters would later be seen inhabiting Monster Isle. During the Monsters Unleashed storyline, the monsters in this category would be classified as Goliathans, where they were summoned by the inhuman Keiko Wade in order to help the superheroes fight the Leviathan Tide. Known monsters. The following are the known monsters in Marvel Comics. Abominable Snowman. The Abominable Snowman is a large cryptid often found in the Himalayas. Carl Hansen. The first Abominable Snowman, Carl Hansen, was created by Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko and first appeared in Tales to Astonish #13 Nav, 1960. Carl Hansen was a greedy explorer who had heard of the infamous Abominable Snowman. In order to capture the creature and make money off it, Hansen steals a cursed photograph. In the Himalayas, he was unable to get help in finding it, as people constantly warned him to get rid of the cursed photograph before the curse overtakes him. As he progresses up the mountain, Carl's hair grows longer, his mind becomes addled, and he drops the picture as he becomes the Abominable Snowman. Over time, the Abominable Snowman became an inhabitant on Monster Isle, and supposedly grew bigger. He was among the monsters that witnessed the arrival of the X-Men members Shadowcat and Magic when they arrived to pick up a mutant girl named Bo. When Shadowcat and Magic found Bo, the Abominable Snowman and the other monsters attacked them until Magic teleported herself, Shadowcat, and Bo back to the Jean Grey School for Higher Learning. During the Monsters Unleashed storyline, the Abominable Snowman was also one of the many monsters summoned by Kid Kaiju and helped defeat the Leviathan and its creatures. Howling Commandos version. The second Abominable Snowman was created by Keith Giffen and Eduardo Francisco and first appeared in Nick Fury's Howling Commandos #2 Jan. 2006. He is depicted as a member of the Howling Commandos and is capable of speech, albeit broken. He teamed up with the Sasquatch to track down Groot. He insulted Gorilla Man by calling him less than a monkey on a bicycle at a zoo. Anuxa. Anuxa is a giant monster who was first seen in Tales to Astonish #7 and was created by Stan Lee and Don Heck. Anuxa was part of a monstrous alien race that sent him to Earth as a scout. When the dominant species of Earth has died out, Anuxa is to claim the Earth for his kind. 1,000,000 years later, Anuxa got impatient that humanity would survive the many disasters. Upon hearing of the atomic bomb, Anuxa went back into the iceberg that he was using as a hiding place and continued to bide his time for the day when the atomic bombs would wipe out humanity. Batragon. Batragon is a giant bat/dragon monster that was first seen in Godzilla #4 and was created by Doug Mulch and Tom Sutton. Batragon was once an ordinary bat that was transformed into a bat/dragon monster by a lifestone that was wielded by Dr. Demonicus, who then dispatched it to steal an oil tanker in order to use its oil to power his equipment. This attracted the attention of Godzilla, who then fought Batragon at Dr. Demonicus' volcano lair and destroyed him. Behemoth. Behemoth is an Atlantean beast that first appeared in Tales to Astonish #77 and was created by Stan Lee, Adam Austin, and Bill Everett. The Behemoth was an Atlantean beast that was created by the best Atlantean scientists in order to protect Atlantis from future threats. Behemoth appears in the Marvel Superheroes show 1966 in the Namor segment. Beta Beast. Beta Beast is a giant alien monster that first appeared in Godzilla #12 and was created by Doug Moench and Erg Trimp. The Beta Beast is a giant alien monster that was captured and augmented by the warlords of the planet Beta. As the Beta Beast was not strong enough to deal with the mega monsters used by the Megan warlords, the Betans moved their base to Earth's moon, where they had it challenge Godzilla to see if it is worthy enough to fight the mega monsters. The Beta Beast was killed by Godzilla, proving a point to the Betan warlords that he might be a good challenge for the mega monsters. Blip. Blip is an electrical alien monster that first appeared in Tales to Astonish #15 and was created by Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Dick Ayers. The Blip is a giant alien monster composed of electrical energies. Bamboo, moo, 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 bamboo. Bamboo is an alien monster that first appeared in Journey into Mystery #60 and was created by Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Dick Ayers. Bamboo is a giant alien conqueror from the planet Ubagon Roman 8 who had conquered 275 worlds. The High Commander of Ubagon Roman 8 sent Bamboo to Earth as part of a scouting mission for the Ubagonians. While subjugating the natives while operating as a witch doctor, Bamboo's plan didn't go well when he was struck by lightning. The natives then pelted Bamboo, who then fled Earth. Some years later, Bamboo is sent back to Earth by his High Commander in order to get Earth ready for an Ubagonian invasion. While manifesting in an unnamed American city, Bamboo was confronted by the police, who managed to taser him. Bamboo was then arrested and incarcerated in a county jail. Though he did use his one telephone call to inform the High Commander of his failure. Ruto. Ruto, also called the Brute that Walks, is a giant monster that first appeared in Tales of Suspense #22 and was created by Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Dick Ayers. Howard Lindley was a short scientist who had been picked on for his size. When an atomic machine tapped into Howard's imagination, it transformed him into the comic book creature Ruto. When he burst through the wall, he was unable to speak due to his now monstrous vocal cords only producing monster sounds. While evading the military and learning that and Benson secretly loved him, Ruto made his way back to the lab and thought of himself when he reactivated the machine. It was enough to turn Ruto back into Howard Lindley. Afterwards, Howard destroyed the machines and professed his love to Benson. Crawling creature. The crawling creature is a reptilian monster that first appeared in Tales to Astonish #22 and was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. The crawling creature is a reptilian monster that lived in the underground parts of the Grand Canyon, where it menaced a lost tribe of cave people. While fleeing the crawling creature during a mining expedition, Walter Carter was saved by a passing helicopter. Creature from the Black Bog. The creature from the Black Bog is a giant alien monster that first appeared in Tales of Suspense #23 and was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. The creature from the Black Bog is a peaceful alien explorer who landed on Earth to fix its engines and got stuck in the bog, where he was unable to reach the vines. Sometime later, an elderly couple named John and Martha later found the creature from the Black Bog and helped it escape from its murky prison. Before leaving Earth upon fixing his ship, the creature from the Black Bog rewarded John and Martha by taking their memories and sprinkling it into the fountain of youth, which restored them to their physical age. Devil Dinosaur. Devil Dinosaur is a red Tyrannosaurus that came from Dinosaur World. Dragum. Dragum first appeared in Strange Tales #76 and was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Dragum is a giant fiery denizen of the Vulcan race who escaped prison from his homeworld and came to Earth with the intent of conquering the planet. However, Dragum fled when he was deceived by the filmmaker Victor Cartwright into believing that there were other Vulcans on the planet. Electro. Electro first appeared in Tales of Suspense #13 Jan 1961 in the 7-page story Electro by writer-editor Stan Lee and penciler Jack Kirby. Electro debuted in an issue of what fans and historians call pre-superhero Marvel Comics, published by Marvel's 1950s and early 1960s predecessor, Atlas Comics. Electro was originally a supercomputer created by scientist Wilbur Poole. The computer, however, achieves independent thought and hypnotizes Poole and forces him to build an immense robotic body, 60 feet 18 in tall, for protection and mobility. Calling itself Electro, and now armed with several dangerous weapons, the robot decides to conquer mankind and attacks the city of San Francisco. Poole, however, recovers from the hypnotic trance and deactivates Electro by accessing one of the robot's feet and removing a transistor. Years later, Mr. Fantastic wipes Electro's flawed programming and replaces it. He then enrolls Electro in his rehabilitation program, which involves Electro being reduced to human size and stripped of his powers so as to allow him to enter human society. Electro takes up a job as a male attendant in the Fantastic Four's headquarters, the Baxter Building, and later joins his fellow rehab program creatures, the extraterrestrials Fin Fang Foom, Gugam and Gorgala, to defeat the microscopic alien conqueror Buba. He also starts a relationship with Fantastic Four's robotic receptionist Roberta. At some point, Electro was arrested upon being mistaken for Electro and is imprisoned. Upon getting word of this, the robots at the Baxter Building saw the prison riot that Electro was in. Electro was later freed from prison when the confusion was cleared up. Experiment 247 Experiment 247 first appeared in Tales to Astonish #1 and was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Experiment 247 is a common snapping turtle that was given hormone regulator serum by Dr. Parker. It was trapped behind a wall until it was freed by the natives. Fin Fang Foom. Fin Fang Foom is a Maculan dragon from the planet Kakaranthara. Gargantus. Gargantus is a giant blue aquatic humanoid monster that appeared in Strange Tales #80 and #85. A different Gargantus alien robot is an enemy of Iron Man. He appeared in Tales of Suspense #40. A nightmare version of the alien robot Gargantus created by Count Nefaria, as Dream Master appears in the Marvel Superheroes show 1966 in the Iron Man segment Dream Master episode. Giginto. There were two different Gigintos. The first one was a deviant mutate that dwells in Subterranea. The second one is an Atlantean beast that resembles a sperm whale with arms and legs. Gigintus. Gigintus is a giant monster from the underwater city of Mu, who first appeared in Tales to Astonish #63 and was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Gigintus was sent by his king to invade the surface world. It retreated when a prop builder named Mr. Baxter built Ulvar to scare it back to Mu. Glop. Glop is a giant monster that first appeared in Tales to Astonish #21 and was created by Steve Ditko. It was originally called Hulk before the Marvel Comics character of the same name came into being. Glop is a giant monster that emerged from a movie screen that was playing the movie it was in. Godzilla. Marvel Comics had its rendition of Godzilla. Gog. Gog is a Psilm. Gugam. Gugam is a giant alien monster who is the son of Goom. First appeared in Tales of Suspense #17. Goom. 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 Goom is an alien from Planet X who attempted to conquer the Earth. He was defeated and returned to his home planet by other aliens from Planet X. His son Gugam soon followed in his father's footsteps. Goom first appeared in Tales of Suspense #15 and was created by Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Dick Ayers. Gorgila. Gorgila is a giant ape/human monster. He first appeared in Tales to Astonish #12 and was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Gorgila was originally a 20 FT 6.1 half-man/half-ape native to the island of Borneo, who was discovered by an expedition seeking the missing link between man and apes. After Gorgala saves the expedition from a dinosaur, a Tyrannosaurus Rex, they in gratitude decide to leave the island and never mention Gorgala. Gorgala, however, becomes curious about mankind and stows away on a ship bound for New York. Gorgala stops an assassination attempt while in New York, but dies from a fall from the Statue of Liberty. This is later corrected, and it is revealed that the adventurer Dr. Druid talks Gorgala down from the Statue of Liberty and ensures that he is returned to Borneo. Gorgala is among those summoned by Yandroth and influenced into attacking the Defenders. Gorgala dropped a building on the Avengers, but is defeated by the Defenders. Gorgala is later deposited on Monster Isle by the Fantastic Four and eventually undergoes a rehabilitation program, which involves him being shrunken down to human size and hypnotically stripped of his powers so as to allow him to enter human society. Gorgala takes up a job as a window cleaner at the Baxter Building and later joins fellow monsters Fin Fang Foom, Electro, and Gugam as part of the Fin Fang Four. During the Monsters Unleashed storyline, Gorgala, Fin Fang Foom, Green Thing, and Zizutak confront K. Wade in the forest outside his house where they caught him off guard. Powers and abilities. Gorgala has super strength, agility, and durability. Gorgala. Gorgala is an alien gargoyle monster that first appeared in Strange Tales #74 and was created by Jack Kirby and Dick Ayers. Gorgala is a Stonian from the planet Stonus V and the son of Granitor, who ruled the Stonians. He led an invasion to Earth centuries ago and arranged for the Stonians to hide out as gargoyles, which they resembled. He was seemingly killed by the Stonian army when they were revived, as they had learned peace from observing humanity. Upon hearing about what happened to Gorgala, his father Granitor sent his legion of assassins to kill the Stonians responsible. Gorgala later turned up alive where he was actually taken into IELD custody and placed in their Howling Commandos monster force as seen in the director's cut of the first issue. At some point, Gorgala relocated to Monster Isle. He was among the monsters that attacked Shadowcat and Magic when they came for a mutant girl named Bo. Not wanting to keep fighting Gorgala and the rest of Monster Isle's inhabitants, Magic teleported herself, Kitty Pryde, and Bo back to the Jean Grey Institute for Higher Learning. Powers and abilities. Gorgala was a giant rocky creature who could fly. Green Thing. Grog. Grog is a fictional monster character from the Marvel Universe who first appeared in Strange Tales #83 April 1961. Grog is a giant who possesses super strength, can fly, and also breathe flames. He lived below the surface of the former Soviet Union, but was revived and freed by atomic bomb testing under Colonel Vorkutsky. Grog pursued all those involved with testing and fought off communists. He then relocated to Earth's moon but later returned to Earth. Miklos Kozlov, a scientist/political prisoner, sabotaged the Soviets' plan to build a military base on Mars by tricking Grog into entering their ship. Kozlov escaped using a smoke screen, leaving Grog captured and trapped where he was allegedly sent to Mars. Through unknown means he returned to Earth and was captured by IELD, where he was placed in that organization's paranormal containment unit. Groot. Groot is a floral colossal. The original Groot is an alien conqueror that later appeared as a member of Nick Fury's Howling Commandos. The second Groot is a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Ruto. Ruto is a green alien gorilla-like monster that first appeared in Journey into Mystery #67 and was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Ruto is a giant alien from the planet Passion Rex that resembled a green scaly gorilla. Insect Man. The Insect Man is a giant insect monster that first appeared in Tales of Suspense #24 and was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. The Insect Man and his kind reside in an unknown part of Subterranea where they once had an encounter with Sergeant Mason of the U.S. Army. It the Living Colossus. It the Living Colossus is a 100-foot statue that was brought to life by the Kigger. Clag. Clag is a giant monstrous alien with a tall head that first appeared in Tales of Suspense #21 and was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Clag is a peaceful alien who arrived on Earth where he planned to destroy it for its constant wars. Kool-Aid Man. Craw the Unhuman. Craw the Unhuman is a giant monster that first appeared in Tales of Suspense #18 and was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Craw was once a human of the Wabuzi tribe until he was mutated into a giant monster by the explosion of an atomic bomb caused by the Soviet Union soldiers. Megator. Megator is a giant deviant mutate that first appeared in Fantastic Four Unlimited #4 and was created by Roy Thomas, Herb Trimpe, and Steve Mentano. Megator is a bull-headed deviant mutate that was a servant of the Mole Man, where he fought Atalanto, Hulk, Human Torch, Invisible Woman, and Thing. Megator in other media. Megator appears in Superhero Squad cartoon. Fantastic Four video game 1997. Metalo. Metalo is a gigantic high-tech armor that first appeared in Tales of Suspense #16 and was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Metalo was a giant high-tech armor that was built to withstand radiation. The scientists that created it unknowingly allowed an escaped convict named Mike Fallen to test the armor. Meccano. Whoa, Meccano, whoa, Meccano, whoa, Meccano. Meccano is a giant robot that first appeared in Strange Tales #86 and was created by Jack Kirby and Dick Ives. Meccano is a 30-foot robot that was built by Mr. Hopkins and his young assistant Tommy Briggs that was brought to life by a malfunctioning transformer. Miklos Miklos is a monster that first appeared in Fantastic Four #347 and was created by Walt Simonson, Arthur Adams, and Ijit Subireya. Miklos is a giant monster that was among the monsters of Monster Isle that were captured by the Skrull. Molten Man Thing. The Molten Man Thing is a giant lava monster created by Stan Lee, Jack Kirby pencils, and Steve Ditko inker. He first appeared in Tales of Suspense #7 1960. The Molten Man Thing escaped from an erupting volcano on a South Pacific island. The creature stumbled into a nearby village where he encountered Frank Harper, a vacationing pilot. Harper blasted him with cool air in a wind tunnel at a nearby airport. The Molten Man Thing fell back into the volcano. In Marvel Universe #4, Frank Harper was retconned into Makari, one of the Eternals. It was also suggested there that the Molten Man Thing was one of the deviant mutates. An enchanted paint duplicate of Molten Man Thing later attacked New York. Monster from Mars. The Monster from Mars is a creature from the film of the same name who first appeared in Fantastic Four #3 and was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Miracle Man brought the giant display of the creature to life through hypnosis so that he can steal an atomic tank from the U.S. military and fight the Fantastic Four. The Monster from Mars display was destroyed by Human Torch. Monsteroso. Monsteroso is the name of two giant monsters. The first one is a large alien child. The second one is a giant sturdian that is found in the microverse. Monstro the Gorilla. Monstro the Gorilla is a giant white gorilla who resided on a small island somewhere off the coast of Africa and was trapped in a cave by the natives. Nobody knew it yet, but Monstro was blind because of it being trapped in a cave for a long time. First appeared Journey into Mystery #54. Monstro the Octopus. Monstro the Octopus is a gigantic octopus that first appeared in Tales of Suspense #8 and was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Not much is known about Monstro the Octopus other than the fact that it was suspected of being an octopus that was mutated through atomic weaponry. Following Monstro the Octopus attack on a Soviet coastal town, Professor Mark Faraday was called in by the Soviet diplomats to investigate Monstro the Octopus. Upon guessing the theory of its origins, Professor Mark Faraday was able to get it shrunken back down to its normal height in 24 hours. Monstrom. Monstrom is a giant, one-eyed alien that first appeared in Tales to Astonish #11 and was created by Jack Kirby and Dick Ayers. Monstrom is a 20 FT, one-eyed alien whose spaceship crashed in the bayou 1,000 years ago. Unable to fix the spaceship himself, Monstrom placed himself in suspended animation. 1,000 years later, some humans exploring the bayou where a boy unknowingly awoke in Monstrom who tried to speak to them. As Monstrom can only speak in monster sounds, the humans were unable to understand him. One person tried to shoot it with a rifle to no avail. When Monstrom later followed the people back to town, the townspeople discovered its fear of fire and drove him back to the bayou. Deeming the humans too barbaric to help him, Monstrom retreated back to his spaceship, where he re-entered suspended animation until the day the humans would be advanced to help him. Mumba. Mumba is a giant alien monster that first appeared in Tales to Astonish #23 and was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Mumba is a 24 alien monster from an unknown race that planned to conquer Earth and seated themselves into wooden statues all over the world. Oog. Oog is a giant alien monster that first appeared in Tales of Suspense #27 and was created by Jack Kirby. Oog is a 25-foot alien who was on his way from returning to his homeworld when his spaceship's engines failed, and he crashed into Earth somewhere in the Arctic Circle. Before becoming frozen in ice, Oog etched a galactic distress signal. Some centuries later, Oog was found frozen in a block of ice by a scientific expedition who transported his frozen form back to the United States where he thaws. Oog accidentally broke the wall to the laboratory where some people mistook him for being on rampage enough to call in the army. Oog defended himself by hypnotizing the army. Displeased with how the humans reacted to him, Oog commented to the humans that they should be quarantined from the rest of outer space. As Oog signals his kind to come pick him up, they don't know the existence of the humans around their spaceship, causing the humans to think that there are worse things in outer space. Ogo is a 25-foot Mentaloronite. Rambu. Rambu is a giant alien monster that first appeared in Tales to Astonish #19 and was created by Jack Kirby and Dick Ayers. Rambu is a giant alien who was dispatched by his kind to get Earth to surrender. Rorg. Rorg is a giant alien spider monster that first appeared in Journey into Mystery #64 and was created by Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Dick Ayers. Rorg is the ruler of a race of giant alien spider monsters that sought to conquer Earth. Rorg's kind had a weakness against DDT. Sandman. The Sandman is an alien monster made of sand that first appeared in Journey into Mystery #70 and was created by Jack Kirby. This monster is not to be confused with the supervillain of the same name. The alien Sandman crash-landed on Earth where he ended up in Mexico. The local tribespeople thought it was an evil spirit. They took him while he was still weak from his crash and sealed him in a cave with no air and light where he remained in a state of suspended animation. By the early 1960s, a vacationing Marine named Steve Bronson and his family accidentally unleashed the alien Sandman on the world. The alien Sandman regained its consciousness and recounted its past to the Bronson family and planned to conquer the Earth. Steve Bronson tried to oppose the alien Sandman, but it proved invulnerable to physical assault. The alien Sandman ordered the Bronsons to transport him to North America so he could observe the most powerful nation on the planet before putting his plan into action. Steve Bronson was able to alert the military to the alien Sandman's presence, but they also proved ineffective in dealing with the extraterrestrial threat. Bullets went right through him. Gas was ineffectual because he does not breathe, and while bombs would scatter his pieces, he proved capable of reforming himself afterwards. The alien Sandman planned to increase its size by absorbing every sand on the beaches until nothing can stop him. Steve Bronson's son Bobby heard about the plan and headed to the beach with a plan of his own. Bobby threw a pile of water over the sand, which made the alien Sandman soggy to the point where he couldn't move. The military quickly transported the alien Sandman's body to a top-secret underground facility where he has remained ever since. Skrill. Skrill is a moth monster that first appeared in Fantastic Four-347 and was created by Walt Simonson. Skrill is a giant moth monster that resides on Monster Isle and is named after the sounds it makes. Spore. Spore is a giant amoeba monster that first appeared in Tales of Suspense-11 and was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Spore is a giant amoeba monster created by a scientist that moved into Victor Frankenstein's castle where he used a growth ray on the amoeba. Thing that crawled by night? The thing that crawled by night is a giant plant monster that first appeared in Tales of Suspense-26 and was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. The thing that crawled by night was a giant plant monster that was created by a farmer. Buba, Buba. Buba first appeared in Amazing Adult Fantasy #9 Feb. 1962. His story was later republished with entirely new illustrations in Silver Surfer #4 Feb. 1968. Buba is a reptilian humanoid from the microscopic planet Devoctos, and together with an army of mercenaries, he decides to conquer the entire microverse. Despite initial success, Buba and his forces are apparently wiped out by a flood which is revealed to be nothing more than a drop of water from the considerably larger Earth-616, the mainstream Marvel Earth. Buba apparently survives and years later tricks fellow monster Gugam into using the scientific equipment of Mr. Fantastic to enlarge him. Buba uses the equipment to grow to giant proportions, but is eventually stopped by Gugam and fellow monsters Electro, Gorgila, and Fin Fang Foom. Torg, the Abominable Snow King, is a giant sea-dwelling ape-like monster who first appeared in Submariner #55 and was created by Bill Everett. Torg's origins are unknown, as he claims that nobody knows his beginning and nobody knows his end. He caused trouble in the waters near Antarctica, which attracted the attention of Namor, who managed to defeat him with a block of ice. Torg appears in LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2 as a boss in Lemuria, under the control of Attuma. The Avengers free him from Attuma's mind control, and then Torg attacks Attuma and drags him down to the bottom of the sea. Tricephalus. Tricephalus is a three-headed giant deviant mutate. Troll the Unhuman. Troll the Unhuman is a non-corporal alien who first appeared in Tales to Astonish #21 and was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. When Troll's ship had crashed, his physical body was destroyed. His essence survived and had possessed a construction cruise steam shovel that was designed by a man named Phil. Troll went on a rampage upon holding Phil, his ex-girlfriend, her new boyfriend, and the construction foreman hostage. This lasted until an elephant that Phil freed earlier defeated it by cracking its body. Troll's essence escaped into the jungle. During the Civil War Roman II storyline, Troll the Unhuman resurfaced in a new steam shovel body where he vandalized damage control's equipment until he got busted by damage control worker Monstro. Upon Monstro empathizing him, Troll was convinced to give up on his goals. Troll the Unhuman joined up with damage control and became their spokesperson. Two-Headed Thing. The Two-Headed Thing is a giant monster with two heads that first appeared in Strange Tales #95. The Two-Headed Thing is an orange two-headed rock monster with super strength and shape-shifting abilities. Alvar. Alvar is a giant alien that first appeared in Journey into Mystery #63. Alvar was a giant alien from Centaurus Roman II that challenged Gigintus' supremacy. After Gigintus retreated, it turned out that Ulvar was a prop built by Mr. Baxter and Charlie to fool Gigintus. Van Doom's Monster. Van Doom's Monster is a wax monster that first appeared in Tales to Astonish #17 and was created by Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Dick Ayers. Ludwig Van Doom created a wax sculpture of a giant monster in order to improve his failing wax museum. The wax sculpture came to life upon being struck by lightning from a freak thunderstorm. Warlord Caw. Warlord Caw is a giant shadow monster who first appeared in Strange Tales #79 and was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Warlord Caw is the leader of the Shadow Realm. He led his fellow shadow monsters into invading Earth until a mystery writer named Philip Lawrence found out and alerted the United Nations of their invasion. The shadow monsters were captured, but Warlord Caw escaped, leaving a message in the sky vowing to return and succeed next time. Xemnu. Powers and abilities. Thanks to his alien genetic structure, Xemnu possesses great superhuman strength, almost comparable to the She-Hulk's even at his present smaller size. Xemnu also possesses superhuman stamina and durability, and he has a gifted intellect with advanced knowledge of genetics. His main resource lies in his enormous, extraordinary psionic abilities, including telepathy, hypnosis possession, and levitation. These abilities enable him to effortlessly control millions or even billions of minds at a time, immediately induce unconsciousness in crowds of people, or even put mental blocks in the mind of Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme of the Marvel Universe, although the Hulk has proved immune to Xemnu's psionic possession. He can also project psionic concussive blasts of tremendous power, sufficient to stagger even the Hulk, animate unliving objects, including asteroids, and he can create personal atmospheres, a protective sphere of psionic energy, which he can use to fly with himself in it. If destroyed, he can inhabit another living being and transform it into a smaller 11FT copy of his original body. He is highly adept in his native technology, and has been capable of engineering genetic monstrosities capable of challenging even the Hulk's might, or using a machine that turns humans into members of his species, including transforming the She-Hulk into a She-Xemnu. Xemnu in other media. Xemnu appears in the Hulk and the Agents of SM/ASH episode. The strongest one there is voiced by Fred Tatasciore. This version is much taller and stronger than the Hulk. He is interested in challenging local fighters and delivers a challenge by a hologram to fight the Hulk's all except Rick. Seeing it as pointless, the Hulk moves to reject, but Rick accepts on behalf of the entire team. His colleagues lose. Feeling guilty, Rick tries one more time and manages to defeat Xemnu. Xemnu declares his journey for a skilled fight over and bonds with Rick over video games and donuts. 6 years after the release of the original comic, the fictitious alien Xemnu under the barely altered name Xenu or Xemu would become a central part of the secret teachings of the new religion of Scientology. Due to L. Ron Hubbard's heavy drinking and drug use at the time, Hubbard may not even have been aware that he was appropriating a Marvel comic book villain to flesh out his scriptures. Yetriger. Yetriger is a Sasquatch-like being created by writer Doug Moench and artist Erg Trimp as an adversary for Godzilla in Marvel Comics. He first appeared in Godzilla #10, where he had grown to gargantuan proportions due to being exposed to radiation. His name comes from the legendary shaggy man that some believe live in the Japanese mountains. Yetriger battles Godzilla in the Grand Canyon. In his encounter with Godzilla, Yetriger proves more than a match for the legendary king of the monsters and could have perhaps even killed Godzilla had Red Ronin not interceded. Initially, Robert tries to prevent both entities from harming each other, but ultimately buries Yetriger beneath a rockslide. Ashamed of this action, Takaguchi temporarily fled in the Red Ronin robot. Attempting to get revenge on Phantom Rider, Mockingbird led the West Coast Avengers to the Grand Canyon, where Hamilton Slade was working on an archaeological project. To distract her teammates while she looked for Hamilton Slade, Mockingbird set up explosives which freed Yetriger. The Avengers' attacks on the beast proved very futile until Hank Pym placed an object in Yetriger's ear and used the Pym particles to enlarge the device enough to knock him unconscious. After his defeat at the hands of the Avengers, Yetriger was remanded to the vault. In a prologue to Acts of Vengeance, Yetriger was seen trying to break out of his energy cell during a mass prison break. This was thwarted by Hawkeye and Iron Man, who managed to trap the other villains, namely Anger the Screamer, Cactus, Electro, Griffin, Hydro Man, Claw, Mr. Hyde, Orca, Scarecrow, Titania, and Whirlwind that were trying to escape. After the vault was shut down, Yetriger was taken someplace else. It is most likely that he was placed on Monster Isle. Zetora? Zetora is a giant monstrous Martian that first appeared in Journey into Mystery #57 and was created by Jack Kirby and Dick Ayers. Zetora was a giant Martian criminal who fled to Earth after committing a crime on Mars. Zizutak. Zizutak is a giant monster that first appeared in Strange Tales #88 and was created by Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and Steve Ditko. Zizutak is an orange monster that was painted to life on an Aztec canvas by comic book illustrator Frank Johnson upon being manipulated by an Aztec tribe